Welcome to the Tech on Toast podcast. We are the home of hospitality tech. Whether you're an operator wanting to untangle your tech or a technology provider wanting to join our community, we are the largest hospitality tech growth platform on the planet. Now sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome to the next episode of the Tech on Toast podcast, and today I'm delighted to be joined by my new friend. Can I say that?
Yes, please.
Adi Hristova, co-founder of Growwyze. How are you?
I'm very good, Chris. How are you?
It's like twice in a week. I feel like you're my best friend.
First time 2 days ago and now again.
Yeah, and we have a shared friend as well, Michael Stocks. I know he listens. Michael is a friend of mine from, everyone gets bored of me talking about Carl Lucius, but Carl Lucius. And you know Mike as well, don't you?
I know. We've known Michael for how many years now?
Well,
since the very beginning of Growwyze.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's mine's old, embarrassing. I go back even further. Mine's like probably 15 years.
But then I told you we know Mike from Chris Poole.
That's right. He's my old boss, for anyone listening.
One of our first customers.
Really? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chris, a very tall man. And when I used to walk around London with him doing site visits, I used to kind of have to run to keep up with him because he was so tall. And he had a bigger stride.
Very straightforward, very focused.
Yeah. He's very direct, I would say. Yeah. He's an acquired taste. Chris, I hope you're listening. Anyway, and today we're in Brewdog, obviously, and they've cleared all the furniture out because the football's on. And I'm not going to let you get away with this because you just told me before we started talking that you were a football player.
I used to. That was 20 years ago. I was quite young back in time.
What position did you play?
Midfielder.
Really?
Yeah. So
yeah, I wouldn't mess with you.
I used to play for the university team.
Right.
And then I entered into the national team under 19.
Wow.
But that was only for a year.
What happened then?
Well, I just decided I wanted to study.
To get a proper job.
You need to be very good and you need to focus.
Yeah, I met my son's starting university in Cardiff and he's doing sports science. And we met his lecturer the other day and she was top 7 in Germany tennis player at 18. At 17 or 18, she said, then she had a really horrible leg injury and never recovered really, got back to her level. And she was saying it's so competitive and your life is over for that period of time in terms of boyfriends, girlfriends, socialising. She said it was literally just sport. So yeah, you kind of have to commit, don't you?
You have to. I really wanted to enjoy life as well.
Yeah,
so
well, I don't blame you.
Let me go enjoy and study and obviously
I'll kick a ball around when I can be bothered.
Yeah, and I haven't really played for so long now.
I'll give you a game afterwards.
Okay, let's try.
No way, no
After
chance.
A beer.
You'll destroy me. And where are you from originally?
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
Have you been to Bulgaria?
No, I haven't actually. I don't know why.
It's a next communist country.
And how long have you been in the UK though?
I came back in 2010.
What do you mean back?
Back in, well, a long time ago again. 2010 to do my studies in sports and strategic management.
Oh.
But then 1.5 years later, I was like, no, it's not my
Okay.
thing.
I was going to say talk to my son, but not now. No. and you're not alone in this venture, are you? You have
I've got
close
my
relative helping you.
Very close. My sister, who is actually the founder and mastermind behind Growwyze.
Right.
So we've been on that journey for how many years? 4 years now. But, back in 2020, 2019...
You say it like it's ages ago.
I know, but I feel like...
I've got a 17-year-old kid. That's like yesterday. But anyway, yeah, carry on.
But 2019, she came to me. I think that was September. She came to me and she was like, Adi, I'm taking you to the pub. Like, well, okay. We need to talk. Okay, let's talk. And she was like, I have an idea. I've been in hospitality for so long, 20 years. And I know the pain points of the hospitality industry. It's my passion. And now I know technology because she used to work for a scale-up. So she was managing a big project there. And she was like, I know the pain points. I know how technology can solve a problem. Let's do it. Let's create Growwyze. It's like, why Growwyze? Growwyze overseeing operations. And Growwyze growing wiser every single day. Like, okay, let's do it. And then in the beginning of 2020, we had a presentation. No capital, and we raised investment to start building the product.
I love the fact that's the one thing I'm excited about tech, right? That you can go in with an idea and someone gives you money. Literally no customers, nothing. Just this is what we're going to do. Here's a deck.
We were extremely lucky, to be honest.
Lucky? Gary Player, the golf player, said the harder you work, the luckier you get. So maybe you're just smart, and that's why you got lucky.
Yeah.
No, you got lucky. Okay, fine.
No,
and you started in Bulgaria?
We had a very good network of people.
Right, okay. And did you start it in Bulgaria or over here?
No, here. So my sister was living in London she's been living here for like 25 years now.
Right, okay.
She came to study English, so 2020 she came to study English and she was like, I'm never going back now to Bulgaria.
Wow.
I love it here. And Growyze started from Waterloo, funny enough. She
Oh,
was
really?
working for a pub called Cooper's, I think,
yeah.
just at Waterloo Station. She climbed the ladder very, very quickly, supervisor management. And then she started working for a company called Select Service Partners.
Yes, SSP,
As
we
a
know
loss,
them. Yeah.
loss prevention manager. And this is where...
Okay.
Yeah, so this is where her experience come into place.
Yeah, it's really, and I always say that the great tech is often built on people that understand the not saying that people don't understand if they build tech, they don't have to have worked in the industry, but it really helps, doesn't it, to physically have done it and been through the pain points, as she called it. Where is she anyway? Why isn't she here?
Well, she's between London and Sofia now, because we've got a team in Bulgaria and the UK now.
Oh, very nice.
Gradually growing, which is good.
No, I think it's really exciting. And as I was saying, and I think that when you have someone who's invested in the product like that, what was your background apart from the football? What were you doing?
I've done so many things. I
Yeah.
also worked in hospitality back in time. I don't know. It's a parasite word I'm using. But I used to work in hospitality. I was selling alcohol. You remember shot girls back in time?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Were you doing that?
I was doing that. I
Love
was
that.
studying and I had to make some cash, so I used to do that as well. But it was amazing because I had to diversify into what products to sell. Would it be Jaeger bombs? Would it be another types of shots? But because you would meet a lot of intelligent people and they would be like, oh, what are you doing? How, let's grow your business. It's like, okay, let's do that. But that was one of the things. I used to work with consultancies to help small to medium to large enterprises get investment or funds from the European Commission or the EA and OA grants. So anything from business development to marketing to helping companies raise grants, more towards grants.
Wow.
And we come from a family of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
Yeah, so the journey started in the very early days of us growing up back in Bulgaria. We had to help our parents run their businesses. I was
What did they do?
At the age of 3 or 4 or 5, we had to do stickers here and there. You just grow up working.
Yeah.
So we are not afraid to work, and we're very hard workers.
No, we talked very briefly actually about the work ethic. Actually, when I was saying we talked very quickly about Brexit. Don't worry, we're not going to get into too much. But we talked about, or I was talking about the fact that I worked around a lot of mostly, I'd say 80% Polish teams for a good 5-6 years. And actually, when everyone left, it was horrific because the skill set and the work ethic left with it, and it hasn't been replaced. And I say anyway. I don't want to get too political, but it really is a sad state of affairs, isn't it? When you look, and we were talking about Europe and how beautiful the fact that Europe is. That you just cross borders into different cultures, different food, different languages, and then now we're a bloody island again. So anyway, that's my opinion. But yeah, let's do your best pitch for Growwyze. Okay. So what if I'm an operator coming to you say, hey, can you help me? How would you sell it to me?
First of all, Growwyze is a stock control system like any other. Why like any other? Because we are really, really simple and there's no learning curve for your staff members. It's a stock control system for the whole team, whether it's the kitchen members, whether it's the guys behind the bar, whether it's management. We are really trying to make it as simple as possible. And it really shows for what we have at the moment.
Yeah, I think that simplicity is huge, right? Because I think sometimes that because it's so, the ability of tech is amazing at the moment. I think it's quite easy to get quite complex quite quick, and especially with inventory. Oh my God, just keep it simple, right? Because it's such a horrible.
But it's very difficult to keep it simple when you grow. And it's been the driving force for us in the very beginning. Chris Paul, back in time again, said, Growwyze removes all the noise you find with other providers. It's so simple. So we've kept it like that. It's driving us forward, keeping that simplicity, which is not very easy to do.
And you talked about your sister worked in loss prevention for SSP. That's basically what you're doing, isn't it, with stock? It's kind of...
Loss prevention.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? No one ever calls it that, but...
We started with loss prevention only to find out that people were looking for stock control as a problem, inventory management, because a lot of them are not even having processes. And this is one of the challenges we're seeing. We don't have a process. We're operating on pen and paper and spreadsheets. And then even if you're using a very complex, outdated system, you're not doing it right. So this is where we come in and we just create processes. We help them build processes based on their day-to-day activities. Whether it's you and let's say me behind the bar, you in the kitchen, and then we have Adam.
What a dream team that would be.
Adam in the cellar, and then
that's where he belongs.
Yeah.
Adam Foreman in the cellar.
But then it's very easy for us to do a stock take.
Yeah.
We're using barcode scanning. So you do your stock take, I do my stock take in different areas, and you can easily see the stock value.
Because the value of lost stock or waste, whatever title you want to call it, is huge, right? And I spent in my career on a Monday morning, I told you the other day, I used to hate it on a Monday, sit there and going, oh my God, we've lost, in one site, I've lost 600 quid. Then multiply that by my 48 sites, all of a sudden, Chris Paul's going to call me and tell me off. So there's a lot of potential waste out there. And I think being able to manage that, you can redeploy that money into other places, right? If you do a good job. I think
absolutely.
And is it quite a quick turnaround once you go in and consult with them? How quickly are they kind of on their feet and using those processes? It
really depends on how quick they are in responding, because everyone's busy on the shop floor and they're running all over the place, right? It could be from days to a few weeks. We also get in touch with their suppliers, because it's very, very easy from our platform to do your ordering from suppliers.
Okay.
As Whistlepunks has said, it's really, really easy to order with Growwyze. It's like easier than Amazon.
Like
it's
that.
like, okay, well,
put that on your website.
Click. Yeah, we have it on the website. Absolutely.
You do have it on the website. No, but that's the key point, right, about tech being an enabler, isn't it? The fact that it can actually help or speed up a process, rather than kind of become a bit more of a problem as well when you end up adding to the problem in the first place. How do they? So I can order through the system, and I then receive the product through the system as well when it arrives?
Yeah, you can. We have the so-called three-way invoice validation.
Right.
This is our most liked feature. What you do through the system, you order from your suppliers, then you very easily can do that on your phone when you get the delivery note. But you go to the order, right?
Yeah.
And then, I'm supposed to get 10 bottles of white wine. I've only received 5. You tick, and then you notify supplier, and then it's very easy.
So that automatically goes to the supplier?
And then it matches with the invoice. So it's a three-way match between orders, deliveries, and invoices. But this is something Cathy had to do when she had to find losses in the businesses. She would go through piles of papers, orders, deliveries, and invoices, and she would go line by line to look at, okay, where's the losses coming from?
Yeah,
and
absolutely huge.
You know, they used to call her Mind the Gap lady. she would turn and announce, let's say, at Burger King or Marks and Spencer's, and she would be like, guys, you're supposed to make this. Why? I mean, where's the gap? Something's missing. And then she would have to sit and do that. So this is a massive feature we have, and we're basically doing the job for the operations and accounting teams. Accountants love us. All they need to do is, like, we are validating the invoices for them. All they need to do is, with one click, push it to Xero, Sage, or any other accounting platform.
And who is your ideal customer then? Are you looking at smaller sites, or I know you'll say everyone?
No, I wouldn't say that anymore. We had to test who is our best customer. We started with the smaller customers because we wanted to have an impact, bigger positive impact on them. It's unfortunate that either they're not ready or they're just not our customer. They don't see the value fast enough.
Yeah.
And they're very, very small, that it's just the value we provide is good, and we are having smaller customers, but we've seen a massive appetite from bigger customers, and it's because you're making a big impact there. Yeah. It's one thing when you have one venue, and another thing when you have 20.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Because
the impact is much higher.
Yeah, and as I said, like, if you're losing £200 in one venue, times that by 20, it becomes a bigger number. Huh? See what I did there? I'm so smart. And it must be interesting, because I've probably done, you asked me how many podcasts I've done before. I think I've done, this is number 97 or something. And I probably interviewed in that 97, I would say 15 ladies, probably.
Only?
Yeah. And not all of them founders. Obviously, out of those 15, probably 5 are founders. And the other 10 were directors of X, Y, and Z, kind of senior people. Why do you think, I'm interested to know, what do you think the barriers are to kind of women in tech, especially in those leadership positions?
That's a very interesting question. I'm surrounded by women. First of all, we have a lot of women in our team, not on purpose, but the operations team is mainly female. The tech team is led by guys. But look at tech and look at hospitality. It's male dominated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's changing. But then even look at investors, male dominated. And then if we have to go and fundraise, and I was actually at JP Morgan yesterday.
Yes, I saw that. Very cool.
Yeah. So we get a lot of support from amazing organizations trying to provide impact and support to female founders, and it was a fact that struck me, and I probably knew that from before. But only 2 male founders, only 2%. Female founders get investment from venture capital. I mean, there's a lot of, factors to consider, but we need to change that.
Yeah, I find it insane. I mean, and also I'm trying to offend everybody here, but I used to find working with women, they'd focus on detail compared to a guy. Just in my role that I was in college years, we had a lot of. We had a deli, so we had a lot of different menu items in the delis, and we had a lot of stock items, shelf and book items. There was a lot more to deal with than just the restaurant. It was a lot more menu to deal with. And out of my GMs, I think 80% I would hire a female because of their attention to detail and because of follow-up. And that probably offended every bloke I know. But it was, and I tried and tested that. I A/B tested it. I checked it, and I was there for a long time and worked with a lot of people. And there was something about the caliber of women when they look, the way they deal with a project and run it from start to finish compared to a guy. And I'm sure there's nuances everywhere, right? But that was my general impression, which really shocks me when I come into tech and then I see it's the opposite, because that detail I think is totally required in what you guys do. And that follow-up, but I think it's interesting. But yeah, you're one of few. But
yeah, it's down to. I've been talking to some of the females. It's down to confidence.
Yeah.
And I've heard something very powerful when I was in Bulgaria 2-3 weeks ago. Dream bigger. It's not harder. And I think when you're looking at female founders and male founders, guys would have a little bit more confidence to go and I'm going to change the world.
Yeah.
Female founders, women would be a bit more realistic. If I can put that.
My wife is listening going, exactly, yeah. I'm going to go build that fence. No, you're not. You're going to get my dad to do it.
You have a vision, and then how you execute.
I'm a dreamer.
You find a way. You find the means.
But it's so true. I wish it would change. So I have a daughter, right? I have a 13-year-old daughter, Tegan, and T's amazing. She's so confident. She's very shy, as in big groups, but in her own world, super confident, knows what she wants to do, very focused. And I just wish that, obviously, seeing people like you and other people around her, Taylor Swift is her idol at the moment. Okay. So, people like that, she looks up to, thinking, look, if she can do that, I can do that type of thing. And I think it's really hard, if it's not being proven, to look up to. You need role models, right? And people
you need success stories.
Yeah, that you can refer to and talk to. And I think that's why it's great having people like you on, because you can share that story and say, and I know there's challenges. I'm pretty sure running
every day. Yeah. But it's any business. When you run businesses, there's a challenge every single day. But then challenges come with successes.
Yeah.
You just need to keep going.
If you stay small, you could just have no challenges, right?
Yeah. I mean, we have a motto: keep pushing. And after I've spoken to so many people, so many entrepreneurs, so many investors, and a lot of there would be a lot of businesses that would close down, and I'm seeing that. I've seen this over the last few years. Entrepreneurs would run 1, 2, 3, 4 years, and then they would be like, I can't grow.
Yeah.
So I just rather close down. But then someone said the other day, I wish I continued pushing, because you need to go through that.
Yeah.
Barrier,
that tipping point where
you're okay, but then you need to grow. I mean, it all comes to capital as well. You need to grow.
Yeah, and it's exhausting, right? As a founder, I'm sure to do. Well, I know I'm one, not of a tech company, but I've still got mouths to feed, and I think that's the exhausting part, right? Being able to be responsible for other people. But Kim Teo, who's the founder of Mr. Yum, she had one of her phrases was one of her mottos was run into the fire. which I loved. And she's basically saying, look, you just kind of not have to care, and you might get burnt, but go for it. Which I think is it was a really nice way to look at it. When you meet her, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, I get it. I see why she thinks
just
that.
Go for it.
Yeah.
You need to become fearless, and it's a mindset challenge for a lot of people. You need to shift your mindset 360 degrees. Like, do you have a growth mindset, or do you have a mindset where it's like, yeah, man, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that? You need to be out of your comfort zone constantly.
And do you find yourself, if you hire people, that you're looking for those people to work with you, as in the company as well?
We've had bad hires.
Of course.
I think like any company.
Everybody does, yeah.
That's how you learn. It's better to learn earlier than later.
Yeah.
Yes, we are looking for such a mindset. If someone has worked in a smaller company, a startup, which is faster growth, you can see the faster growth there. Absolutely. I mean, if you're 9 to 5... it just doesn't work.
I don't think Adi's 9 to 5, are you?
No, it's 24/7, 7 days a week.
But you enjoy it, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
I would never change it for anything.
I think it's great. I just find it fascinating. Like, the product's great. I mean, we've just been talking to you off air about potential client in Asia. Don't ask. Just another day with Chris. There's always weird and wonderful people to talk to in my world. But I think it's fantastic, because I think the two biggest costs to hospitality are labour, payroll, and inventory. Right, they're the two biggest. If they were like leaky taps, right? So they're constantly losing money. So yeah, fixing that problem, or helping fix that problem, because in there you can't fix it on your own, right? Growwyze isn't going to you need the humans behind it.
You need the humans behind it. We call them the leaky buckets.
The leaky bucket. That's what I was trying to say, man.
It's loss prevention, profit protection. Leaky buckets, or hidden losses, silent killer.
Oh God, that's
silent killer. You don't even know what's happening in the background. Like, you're losing money from supply errors, admin errors, waste, theft, external, internal.
Yeah, I said to you, right. We used to have this issue in a old job where a general manager would leave after a period of time. So maybe they've been at that site for 2 years. They've obviously been managing the stock for 2 years, the inventory. And when I say managing, I'm almost like manipulating. And then when they leave, because there was a fear in that company around getting the wrong stock result. So it would drive the wrong behaviour in the teams, that they would actually go, I'll just put an extra bag of coffee on because I don't want to have a bad result, I don't want to get in trouble. And the reality is that waste was probably correct, but they just didn't want to announce it. And then every week they have to add another one, right? Just to keep it. And then you get 2 years down the line, these GMs leave, and there's like a £5,000 deficit in coffee. And it just shows how behaviour can drive behaviour. So yeah, it was a real big learning that actually no matter how good your tech is or how good your stock management system is,
it's all about the people.
Yeah, it really is. And we share a friend in Mike, and Mike was used to run central projects, and he would do. I think he's doing that now for Ottolenghi, right? I think he's just joined. He's just joined Ottolenghi as head of projects. Well done, Mike. And he was kind of the fixer at Coluccio's. He was the guy that went in and fixed stuff. Like, if there was a bad site, Mike could visit and sort it out. If there was a liquor stock, Mike could visit, sort it out. He was a good guy, and I think there aren't a lot of mics left. My opinion in the industry right now, I think it's very different. I think it's run in a different way. So you do need tech to support it. But yeah, it's very interesting. And what do you think about the future then, for not just for Growwyze, but AI? You've been to all these lovely. I'm watching you on LinkedIn going to all these different conferences and events. Are they talking about AI at all?
Obviously, it's all about AI nowadays, isn't it? It's a big hype. It's something on the roadmap for us, and we're working on it in terms of sales forecasting and stock, etc. AI, menu engineering as well. There's a lot to do with food waste, and this is where I'm a fan of sustainability, and I come from a background where I created projects with great impact, whether it's social, environmental. So for me, this is a big driver for the company.
Sure.
So one would be loss prevention, one is sustainability. So help companies reduce food wastage as well.
Just on that, how are they treating that? Do you think the industry treats that problem with respect, or do you think there's a lot of work to do?
There's a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I agree. Bit of a leading question, but yeah.
We're currently running a survey to understand the challenges our customers and any hospitality business is having, and one of them is how do we jump on the sustainability journey? How can we do that?
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are lost. I mean, running a business like that, and then you have to also think about sustainability. So I think a a lot of the hospitality businesses would face that challenge, not knowing what to do and how to do it.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a fear. Not fear is the right word.
A fear of change.
Yeah, I just think, and I think it's like on their list of things to do, they put sustainability really low because today
which
to run
which
this
one
shift,
first?
yeah, like
bringing customers.
Yeah, we've got England playing Slovenia this afternoon. Is it Slovenia? I think so.
Yeah.
And you know, when we're in Brewdog, look at them all setting up. They've got all the bars out and everything, and it's like on their list of things to do. It's not up there. Now, I don't agree with that necessarily, and I interviewed a couple of guys who founded something called Zedible, which was tracked carbon footprint, on the podcast a while ago. I don't think they're doing it anymore. I think it's gone. And it just shows that actually what they were doing was really cool, but I don't know why our industry isn't there yet. I don't get it. And the food waste and all the other stuff you could point to that's causing a problem for not just for stock but the planet.
But look at Too Good To Go, for example.
Yes.
I mean, they're growing massively, and it shows that there's a problem out there. But there's so many ways that you can help in fixing the problem.
Well, food waste alone, right? Oh my God. If you wrapped it up into I don't even know what the number is, it'd be shocking, wouldn't it, in terms of the amount of stuff we're putting. You know, we have that old phrase, I don't know if you have it in Bulgaria, but when you're sitting around with your kids having dinner, you're like, oh, come on, eat your food up, there's people starving, you know? And it's a kind of a common thing we'll trot out. But we don't care when we tip half the fridge in the bin when we do the weekly food shop or whatever. So
we care.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a story here. So when I told you in the very beginning, Bulgaria is an ex-communist country.
Yeah.
So when I was born and after 1989, we were living in post-communist times. So we were living a little bit poorly, let's say. A family of entrepreneurs, 2 kids, and a huge dog called Democracy, because we were...
You say the dog was called Democracy?
Yeah,
oh my
we were
God,
supporters of democracy. I know, and we were out on the street saying, it's like, 45 years is enough.
Yeah.
And we would say to Democracy, Demi, like, catch the communist. And she would be like, woof, woof, woof. And I was like, yeah, we were really... It was time for a change, meaning that we used to live in a zero-waste household. And at the moment, I cannot cook with... I can't go to the supermarket and just go with a recipe. This is what I need.
Yeah.
I open the fridge, like, this is what I have, this is what I have, this is what I have. Let me cook something. And this is what we're also implementing into Growwyze.
And I think because of your background, because of what you grew up in, obviously it means more to you. And I look at my kids when they go through school and what they're being taught, and I'm very fortunate that they go to a Welsh school, so they're taught. Obviously, they learn Welsh. They only speak Welsh at school. I don't speak any.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't got a clue what they're talking about. Genuinely don't know. But they learn Welsh from 3 years old, right? So they're all 3 of them all Welsh speaking, and but there's something about that community as well that they really care about everything. It's not just about keeping that language alive. It's about actually keeping old habits alive, keeping rituals alive that actually should still be here. And I think the worrying thing for the rest of the UK particularly is that a lot of that is dissipating when you look at your grandparents and how they would behave and how they would treat food. They just wouldn't eat rubbish and they wouldn't waste stuff. And so forget about planet for a minute. Just that whole behaviour about looking after the way you eat and food. We're going to a different podcast here. But it's interesting, right, the way they would behave around it. And I do think tech has sometimes made us guilty of, you know, if you think about the way you can order your food now through your supermarket, whatever you can be, I fancy a bit of that because I'm ordering it on my phone rather than in front of my eyes. Because tech guys will tell you, you increase spend by ordering through a kiosk, right? Because you get people feel a bit more brave to order an extra portion of chips or whatever. So I think it's the same when you buy from the supermarket. You buy with your eyes. You go, I'm a bit hungry.
I can have this.
But that ends up in the bin. And I think that all that behaviour, it'd be great to shift it back. But how you do it? I need 100 Addies.
And Catties.
And Catty, sorry, I forget. Yeah, she needs to come. I'll have to meet her soon.
Next time she's around.
So you deal with that then? Deal with it, but you address it in your product and in your
we're working on it.
Yeah,
and we're actually working with a lot of hotels, and we're seeing a massive appetite from them as well.
Yeah,
and
I think they're different, right?
A lot of them are going on to that sustainability journey, so we're also helping them address that.
I tell you who else is interesting: contract catering or SSP type people. Because they have, I think in their bid, in the way they do their bids, they actually look for that within the bid when they're winning, when the people are going into, I used to do a bit of it myself, but you'd often have to prove sustainability. I've done a lot, Adi. Tony, what day is it today?
Time.
Is it Tuesday? Yeah. So look, anyway, I think it's really, and so AI will come into your world, but
I love the fact we do have AI,
right?
But we just don't shout about it.
Yeah, yeah. You think it's did you say it was a gimmick or not a gimmick, but a bit of a buzzword?
Yeah, it's there. It's solving a problem. It's addressing challenges for our customers, but we don't really shout. Okay, we've implemented AI in this feature. We implemented AI in that feature.
I feel like it's just speed of content at the moment. AI, as in you can get some information out quicker, find some information, get it out quicker. That's what I feel like it does. I know it can do a lot more, but right now that's where it sits in my little world, how we use it anyway.
But there's one saying is like you can't run before you walk.
Yes.
And this is where our customers are still using pen and paper and Excel spreadsheets.
It blows my mind.
I mean, what we do is we are creating processes for them through our simple software. And then talking about AI is just another level
it's
for
like here,
them.
isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, clearly, there's a lot of solutions talking about AI, which is fine. They're addressing another customer profile, but a lot of companies, they come to us like we need a process. We don't know what to do. We're not even doing stock takes. It's like, well, okay, how are you running your business exactly?
It's crazy. I find it. I spoke to a scheduling person the other day, a tech founder.
Okay.
And they said they spoke to a business the other day who had 62 sites and they were still on Excel for scheduling.
Oh, yeah,
that blows my mind. I just don't get it.
We had to bid for one tender some time ago. It was over 1,000 venues. They were working on Excel spreadsheets.
Who are they? Quick.
Not I can't tell you.
It's so cool.
Can't tell you.
Right, look, before I let you go and watch the footy, because now I know you're a midfielder. You were attacking midfielder, defensive? What was your...
Like running like headless chicken.
Just taking people out. If you had to give any advice, because I think it's a really interesting position you sit in, particularly with your background and the fact that you're a woman and the fact that you're co-founding with another woman, and that you're in a space that is male-owned, I would say. What would your advice be to any, I suppose, founders who want to get into this world, who've got an idea, don't have any investment, kind of a similar story to you? Have you got any kind of gems that you could share?
Build your network.
Yeah.
Be always out there. It's all about people. Whatever you do in life, in business, it's people, human connections. Go out there. Don't be afraid to network, because a lot of people are still afraid to network. Yeah,
I was. I mean, because I was in a normal job for so long, going to networking to me was weird. I was like, why do people do that?
What do you
I don't
do?
need to.
What do I say?
I just work and go home to my family. I don't need these people. But when you leave that safety blanket, oh my God, yeah.
The world is yours.
This thing was built on it.
I know. Yeah. The sky's the limit. There's not even sky.
100%. I mean,
this is my first advice. Go out there, speak to people. There's always a lot of organizations, a lot of support networks to help female founders as well. Whether it's male, female, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But there's so many organizations helping out. All you need to do is just know what you want to do. What problem are you solving? Because there's a lot of products on the market that are not particularly solving a problem. So this would probably, like, you can't just create something because it's AI, and then not solve a problem.
Yeah, because I don't know how you go into a sales pitch without saying, because William Connors from Nova Group said this ages ago. He said that you've got the operator saying, I've got a problem, I need to fix it. You've got the salesperson saying, oh, I've got a sale. And somehow they clash together and it all goes wrong because the salesperson just wants a sale. Fair enough, that's their job. And the operator wants to fix their problem. And then for some reason in that middle bit there, it all goes wrong. So I think having a really clear value proposition of what you do to fix, like you just said right at the start, we're simplifying. And we put processes in for these people to help them save money and prevent loss. I think if you don't have that, I don't know where you start, or I think you'll find out quite quickly that people don't want to use your product. I don't know. Would that be accurate?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things we're saying is Growwyze is your best friend. I think maybe I mentioned that earlier, but it really is. You can do everything on your phone. It's so simple. You're working behind the bar, let's say, right? And then tomorrow you're leaving because, let's face it, there's a big challenge, high staff turnover.
Yeah.
So you would leave. Someone needs to pick up the software immediately. So we are minimizing that learning curve and trying to just not make it so steep.
And that really speaks to the understanding of the industry, because I think if you didn't know the industry, you wouldn't understand that problem, because that is literally what happens.
We've been on site for at crazy hours, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. with our operators, just to make it work for them. So we are entirely customer driven. All the product, all the future product as well. There's no point to build a product that's not solving your problem. So tomorrow we will go to someone and they will be like, oh, I have a problem with that. Can we address it? And then there will be a few more people saying that. It's like, okay, look, if it's really your problem, let's build it for you. But entirely customer driven, really.
I love it. Well, and if you haven't met Adi, you'll realise quite quick she's cool. And I generally believe that's how a lot of business is done now, right? That thing, and the fact that you're friends with Mike means that you must be cool.
I need to meet him.
Yeah. So, but I think that that kind of I suppose approach to sales now, or approach to running a business, is absolutely key, and especially in this world. It was very small, but we all know everyone, as we've just proved on this last half an hour. So look. If you want to find Growwyze, you can find them on Marketplace. And I must say, actually, as well, to Adi, while she's here, you are one of the only, I hope you're all listening here, Marketplace partners, people that email me just randomly or message me on LinkedIn saying, I love what you're doing. Thank you for supporting tech. And that, I don't know whether you know it, but that means the world to us and my team, because that's what their job is, right? To kind of make noise about hospitality tech. And I showed someone the other day, they were just like, that's so good. It's 50p in the meter for us. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I kind of encourage the other tech partners to do it for each other. Don't all have to compete. There's a lot of people that can help each other, and I think I really encourage that in this space, because I think when they do it, it works really well.
I think I mentioned earlier, competition drives innovation.
Yeah.
So it's all about our customers. We're here to support our customers, whether it's solution number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a passenger for each train, or there's a train for each passenger, right?
You're bringing them all out today.
Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, it keeps coming up.
Yeah, no, it's really true.
It's reality.
And apart from on the Marketplace, how can people get hold of you? Where do they find you?
On our website, www.growwyze.com, Growwyze. It's not Growzy or Growwyze, it's Growwyze. Growwyze.
And LinkedIn, I presume people can come and pest you there if they wish.
Absolutely. We're always open for
if she's not busy travelling in Bulgaria or wherever you are.
We always have time for people.
Love that.
Smaller, bigger, it doesn't matter. In terms of enterprises or smaller customers, it doesn't matter.
All right, well, if you can't get hold of Adi, she's probably on a five-a-side pitch, picking up the football again.
Or a pint.
Or a pint. Lovely. All right, thank you very much. I love talking to you, and we shall see you all next week.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you.